Coach Double E here to show you how to do what I just did. The very first movement of our follow along guide to learning the Turkish get up. Going from your back to this position here, the elbow we call it. So begin on your back and we'll get started. There are two components to this movement. The first of which is a roll driven by the leg opposite the direction you're going. Whatever hand you would be holding a weight in, that's the leg that comes up and slightly to the outside. Let me show you from this angle that not quite neutral, but a little bit to the outside. The arm that will be rolling towards similarly is not next to your hip, but just a little bit to the outside. Definitely no more than 45 degrees. We don't want to be here, we want to be here. The reason this leg is to the side is because it's going to literally make us roll. My left foot is pushing into the ground, and that is causing the hips to lift up and over, left hip ending up on top of right. Right leg long and inert on the ground, and for now, right arm also relaxed. And so first we experience this rolling to both sides. Show you from my other side, up and outside the leg. Notice how the knee is allowed to come down and in. There's an internal rotation of the hip at the same time, there's an extension. Now, the other movement, sit up to experience this, is the same thing as drawing your elbows backwards. It's an extension of the shoulder. And you'll feel for yourself why we don't want to do that at 90 degrees, but at 45. A much stronger activation of your lat, your armpit muscle, is available at this 45-degree angle. So the roll initiates our movement, and then the elbow pressing into the ground is what lifts your body up to the elbow. While you're upright, this muscular action brings the elbow back, but when your elbow is already against the ground, it will bring your body towards and past it. So once again, setting up the start position, leg up and slightly to the outside, opposite arm 45 degrees or less. Instead of letting the body remain limp on this side, we'll initiate the roll with the hip, and at that same time, just as the hip is beginning to come to its full vertical position, pulling with the other elbow. This brings us to the elbow, at which point we bring this knee back open to face the ceiling. To return, imagine pressing back away. Notice that the elbow, the forearm, the hand all remained totally locked, that at the elbow we are tall off the shoulder and long through the spine, and that when we return, we're right where we started. Now, this might be a challenge initially. Activation of the lat is often a lacking skill that requires some practice to fully reclaim. So this can be made easier with a pillow or rolled up blanket or some other small bolster under just the shoulder you're going to lift, not under your whole back. But if you were going to be rolling to that side, a bolster that allowed you to start from a position halfway there would make it much easier than coming all the way from the ground. Conversely, a progression of this is to do it smoothly back and forth, side to side. Not rushed, but focused, feeling accurate placement of the limbs, and comparing activation side to side. To begin though, I recommend doing multiple times in a row on one side until you feel confident enough to alternate back and forth. This is the first part of instruction for the get up. In the next video, we'll be learning how to move to the hand.